Hey, it's Raina with Lilo Crafts, and today I am picking up on my botanical journal. And so what I wanted to do was make the cover for it and then take a quick reminder, flip through the pages. I bought an apron from Temu and I said, you know what, I'm going to cut it up and use it for the fabric. So I am going to do that. And the straps, I want to use this as the tie. Outside, I want to use this beautiful fabric that I have. And so what I am gonna do is figure out how I want this. I love this flower right here, so I want to get as much of that in as possible, and then also as much of this side flower in as possible as well. So that looks good. So I'm gonna flip that over, and then I'm gonna use some fabric glue to just kind of gently hold this in place. And then that way I will go ahead and sew it. But I just wanted to use a little bit of this to tack it down so it makes it easier to sew. I am just using some envelopes that I got from the thrift store. So they are vintagey envelopes, and you can definitely tell by the way that they feel. I want to make sure that I'm not fraying the edge because this is burlap. I am going to cut some of this excess off. There are many ways to do a cover. So this is certainly not the only way. This is just the way that I've been doing mine. I am trying to do right here is just cut a bit of this excess off so it's not so bulky. I broke several of my needles on my sewing machine on my last Sweet Sunflower journal that I was making because I had too much bulk in, and my machine was just really not that happy about going over that. So what I'm doing here is coming in, I'm going to like where the point is going to be, and then just cutting off at an angle those pieces. And I am not saving these tiny little scraps. I am going to save this to use in the journal with some ephemera, but I am not going to save all the tiny pieces. I don't know about you, but I don't have any space anymore. I have been saving too many small items, and therefore I do not have space in my craft room. So for me, I'm going to start by gluing down this top edge right here. And I can really actually apply the glue to the fabric. I think that's what I'm gonna do, because that is longer than where I'm gonna sew. I'm gonna hold this down. And this is gonna take a bit to set, and that is because I am using a burlap fabric, which is heavy weighted. So I think what I'm gonna do is take some clips, and these are just the clips that I have sitting on my desk. So not because I recommend these, but you know, hey, use whatever you have handy. And I'm gonna use this. Okay, I've got this wire clip right here too. Okay, and like I said, I'm gonna sew this in place. So this is just to hold it right now so that I can sew it. Okay, so I'm gonna come around onto this side, and I'm gonna pull this taut. I have all different kinds of clips over here on my desk. Thank goodness. I have like a little dish over here on the side, and that is where I like to keep little small doodads so that they are handy dandy when I need them. And that is where I keep my clips, because you know what? You never know when you need an extra set of hands that a clip can really provide. Okay. Very good. Now I'm going to go to this side, and let's see here. So that's good. This is sticking well enough now. So I want to make sure I roll that edge under. I do not want that to fray. So I'm probably going to have to add a little bit of glue on that and then stitch that down in place. So do that. Okay, let me make sure that's looking good. Okay, I definitely like the way that that is looking. All right, so I'm liking the way that that is looking. And now I'm going to go ahead and repeat those very same steps, and this time it is for the inside cover. Now while that is drying, I just want to take my two pieces and decide which I want to be the front. And I'm thinking about just going ahead and sewing this tie in all together. I went to my sewing machine and I sewed this beautiful piece of lace over so it would have a finished edge. I want to use this lace as a pocket, and I want to tuck the ends in so that I can go ahead and sew it in place in my sewing machine. I'm trying to make sure that my little ties are all lined up over there too. Now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm just going to sew around the edge. Before I got to the sewing machine, I realized I need to have one of these ties on the front and one of these ties on the back. Luckily, I didn't sew it in yet. So let me pinch this back together over here. What I'm going to do is fold this in half so I can line this up. Okay. Turn that little lace back over. Okay. Put that all into place. Okay, now for real, I am gonna go to the sewing machine and sew this all in, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've got that all sewed in now, all around the edges. And the next thing I want to do is to take my fabric glue, and I've got these tacked down, but I want this to be a pocket, so I don't want things to fall through. What I'm thinking is I want to try to put a little bit of glue on these flowers here. Is that not gorgeous? I'm wondering if this should be the front. The pocket would be on the front. I've never done it that way. But things might fall out if I keep the pocket on the front. So I'm going to put it on the inside. So I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm lining it up just on the edges. And I'm going to go ahead and crease. To put that in there, I'm going to clip this in place just to kind of hold it so it gets used to that little bend there. These are the pages that are going to go in. Aren't those peonies gorgeous? And so these are from gardening books, from digitals, from handmade paper that I made, coffee dyed paper, scrapbook paper, botanical like charts, just so many. I made that as well. So we've got all of these pages in here, and I've already got the page edges on them, so I'm super excited for that. So all I'm going to do is sew this in, and when we are together next time, we'll go ahead and decorate, right? My favorite part. If you would like a link to the glue, go ahead and check the description, and I'll put it in there for you along with other items. So thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.